how sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. As my voice just ran out of air and all that stuff. Is what it is. What is up, nerds? This is me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. So good to see all of you today. I am excited. Today's guest we have not had on the show in a long time, probably almost 2 years at this point. But we are going to have Dwight from Grind Legacy in the house. So excited to have him here. He'll be joining us in a bit. He's just still setting up. But if you're new here on HeyArcher Live, we sit down, we hang out, we relax, we nerd out, and hopefully by this point, as we prepare for the weekend, you've poured yourself. I said you've poured yourself just a little bit of oh yeah, all right. Fun week of news, of reveals, of all of it. There's so much we can talk about, but as per usual, I want to hear from all of you. So in the chat, there's a show you want to talk about, topic you want to talk about, put it in there. But most importantly, if you've got a YouTube channel, you got a podcast, you got a live stream, you got a newsletter, whatever it may be, put it in the chat, support one another, plug yo shit. I also thought it'd be fun to play a little bit of So we'll be doing that for sure, as I realized I didn't turn the lights on behind me. But it's all right. We'll make it through. That's what we do here. We roll with it. So without further ado, we're going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dwight from Grind Legacy is in the house. Sir, can you hear us? I think he might be a little frozen. Oh, we lost him. It's all right. We'll get him back. Let's see. I'll remove for now. Once he starts moving, I'll bring him in. But excited to have him on here. In case you all need a little refresher, we have Grind Legacy, the website, the brand, the movement. Want to make sure you check that out. One of my favorite clothing brands around, because simply the line "failure is necessary" is true. That is accurate. That is what we do. So lots of dope merch, lots of cool stuff. Make sure you head over to Grind Legacy. Let's see. Do we have him? Let's see. I think this might be it. Dwight, can you hear us?
Test.
There he is. Good to see you, sir. How you doing?
Good, man. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if you can see me.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties is a real thing.
It's part of the show. Usually it's me doing it, but every so often I pass that on to the next person.
Well, thank you.
That's what I could do. I gave you a gift when you showed up. I gave you some technical difficulties. But how you doing?
Awesome, man. Good, man. No complaints, man. Rocking along with Grind Legacy. Life, man. New things happening. Excited about being on HeyArcher.
There you go.
Hey, man, love what you're doing. Dude, I am a fan. I am nerd affiliated, bro.
You are.
So, hey.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
Normally in the chat on a week-to-week basis, so I appreciate you stopping by every week. But the other day I was thinking, I was like, we actually have not talked in almost 2 years at this point. That's wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, time flies.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, obviously we have reasons for not. But, just life happening, man, to catch you guys up, man. had a baby.
Whoa, congratulations.
In that time frame, man. Appreciate it, man. It was a blessing. Um, just life, started, a new job with the family and everything, man. Had a chance to travel a little bit. So it's just been a real good season since we last spoke, man. But nevertheless, I have been following, man. Love it. Again, love everything you're doing. It's just good to come to a place with like-minded people, when it comes to, if it's movies, if it's, memorabilia, everything, man. Like I seen the one you just did with Mr. T, man. Nostalgia at its finest, bro. So I'm just I love it, man. I love it. I love it.
Actually, I was kind of scrolling through the website showing everybody what you do, why I'm a fan of yours, all that fun stuff. But just so everybody knows, with all the photography I post on Book of Archer on Instagram, it always will show up on the website as well. So you can always stop by the website, see full images of the photos, all that fun stuff. But it's not about me. It's about you. So the legacy continues, as we like to say, as you like to say, sir. So I just had up the site. We were scrolling through before you came in. In case they don't know, in case they've been sleeping, Grind Legacy, talk to us about it.
Well, man, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Grind Legacy started about 6 years ago. I was going through a very, very, very rough transition of my life, man. Had just got laid off from a job. Family. I lost a brother. I lost my dad, a close cousin, man. It was just a real dark time. And I can remember like it was yesterday. I had started my own construction company at this time. And I had, for whatever reason, I can't remember, but on this particular day, we were doing a concrete job, and I had to take my kids with me. We get to the job, man. It's about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. And my kids stayed in a 2005 Ford Explorer for 12 hours while we worked.
Wow.
And look, check it out, man. They didn't complain not one time.
Yep.
And as we're going home, I remember stopping at Dairy Queen, getting them something to eat, and I had about a 45-minute drive. And I just remember looking in the rear view. I said, man, I got a college degree. I work for some of the biggest companies in the world, in Chevron, Bentley, and these companies, man. And I was just kind of justifying I should be at a better place. And the word legacy came to mind. The reason you're working so hard is because your kids need to see you persevere. And it's like a light switch went off. So I got home and I was like, man, the reason I'm grinding so hard is because of my legacy. I put it together, and our motto is failure is necessary. And I know it's kind of hard to see in the background, but failure is necessary.
Here, I'll pull it up real quick on your on the main page. I know you had it up there. There it is.
Yeah. And if anybody that has anything that's worth having, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And when I say failure, don't confuse it with quitting. It's not the same thing. The way I believe what failure is it's a check against your dreams. So if you want to be a millionaire, if you make $100,000, you didn't fail. You got a formula to make another $100 million, another $100,000. If you quit, that is it, right? Look at it as riding a bike. Now, unless you're some prodigy, but I know, you may have gotten on a bike and started riding, right out of the gate. But
yeah,
most people get on a bike, they fall several times. You learn how to course correct and persevere, and eventually you know how to ride a bike. But everybody's grind is different. You have a single parents out there. Do they want to get up early in the morning, getting kids ready for school? Probably not. But do they do it? They absolutely do. Hey, and you're okay. Hey, HeyArcher Live, right? You have to do this. You have to be consistent every single week. You do it when you don't feel like doing it, right? Because there's people like myself that like your content, right? So I say all that to say that's how Grind Legacy was birthed. It started off with that, put it on a shirt. A couple entrepreneurs, couple friends got it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And people at the gym started picking up on it. And one of my close friends, and if you follow us on Grind Legacy, at Grind Legacy underscore, Grind underscore Legacy, I'm sorry, on Instagram, Womack84, or Twitter or TikTok, whichever one you prefer, you'll see one of my good friends by the name of Terry Adams. Now, Terry Adams is a flatland BMX rider, one of the top in the world, right? And we sat down and he just told me, say, man, it makes perfect sense to me. Matter of fact, that's him right there with the Get It Done shirt on at one of his Red Bull competitions, right?
Nice.
And man, it's just, he just say, man, you gotta do something with this. So we wind up doing that, man. You know, have I arrived? No, but the message is out there. Mm-hmm. So instead of selling a bunch of shirts, man, I came up with kind of like this curriculum or this kind of like this formula for, you know, persevering. And I call it the 4 E's: educate, execute, endure, and empower, right?
I like that.
For instance,
wait, say that one more time.
Anything that anybody does.
Run that back.
Educate, execute, endure, and empower.
Love that.
So in most cases, you know, if it's college or anything that you're working on, you got to educate yourself on it. If it's school, if it's mentorship, it was just reading a book on how to create YouTube videos, you know, you have to educate yourself. Next, you have to execute the plan. You know, you just can't read about it and not do anything, right? So you start this process of trying to duplicate what you read and what you've seen in hopes that it works out. And endure. It doesn't happen all the time. We just talked about it. You may get a technical difficulty or a minor setback.
Mm-hmm.
But I truly believe that your goals are bigger than your circumstance. Your goals ought to be that foundation that says, nope, I'm not quitting right here. Is it a setback? Absolutely. But the end game is more important, right? So we started doing that. I did a couple of talks, man, to some entrepreneurs, man, some guys that make way more money than I do, and they all echo the same thing, you know. So as of right now, that's what I'm trying to get into more, is doing more speaking, more engagements, you know, motivating kids. And a byproduct is, if you get what I'm saying, go grab you some merch, right? If you identify with what I'm saying, you know, represent, right? You know, so that's what Grind Legacy is in a nutshell.
I love that. I love that.
Appreciate it.
And even as you were talking just now, you took me back to the last time we talked, and I was like, God damn! I was like, when we were done with that episode, I don't even remember if it was live or not. It may have been pre-recorded, but when we were done, I was like, I'm gonna go run a marathon right now. Like, you just freaking, you hit it home, and you speak with such confidence, and especially with the things you mentioned at the beginning, the things you mentioned in the last time you were here. For those of you who want his full story, you gotta listen to the last episode. I'll link it down below when this is done. But you're somebody who, like, on paper should have quit 5 billion times over, and you just persevere. You're just like, F it, gonna keep going, going.
Right.
One would say,
right.
Keep grinding. So
Yes,
you influence me on the daily. So I thank you for that.
Hey, I don't want it to go without saying as well. You did the same thing, man. I just remember when we were talking, and I feel bad because you even offered, you know, we talk about mentorship, right?
Yeah.
One of the things you told me is, hey, man, you need to start this YouTube thing. You know, you need to get on that. And if you need anything, call me, right? So I'm in the process, man, of putting something together, man. Yourself, my friend Terry, he's been on me a lot lately. And, you know, it's just been one of those things that needs to be done. So, you know, I appreciate everyone on this channel, everyone that's watching live. If you have a chance to go take a look at Grind Legacy, man, I mean, purchase something, obviously, but if you can give a follow, a like on anything, you know, it'd be greatly appreciated. But to go back to what you said, you know, I just look back on, we talk about life, right? Absolutely, could we have quit several times and several times over? I look at it as this, man. You building the formula for success, right? When I was going through all these things, it almost gave you a thick skin, right? You know, a wherewithal to kind of to keep grinding, you know, and you guys going to hear me say that a lot because I am a true believer. And grinding doesn't mean beating your head against the wall. It doesn't mean doing repetitive stuff, you know, and expecting different results. The grind is just keep getting up, right? And you know, and the reason I guess it resonates so loud with me, you know, I'm 37, I'll be 38 this year, and I've seen a lot, right? You know, from job transition, from loss of loved ones, you know, on every level. I lost my mom at an early age. I lost a brother, a father, you know, family members, you know, you name it. You know, I'm married, I've been married 15 years. And I could just remember at a point in time, it wasn't always peaches and cream, right? But that day when I committed to Grind Legacy and put those, I guess you could say, templates or, you know, that motto in play, I was able to, every time I felt like I wanted to quit, I would just repeat that. And I know it sounds cliche, but I was like, hey, I have to go through it. And what it started showing me is that there's several people out there going through it, right? And another thing I like to say, don't go through it, grow through it, right? So if it's talking to,
I gotta hit the applause on that one. I like that. I love that. I love all this. Yeah. Keep going.
Hey, I tell you what, too, man. I want to talk about comic book stuff.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get.
Hey,
don't
guys,
worry. We'll get there.
You know, but I am passionate about, you know, uplifting people. You know, one of the things that I've learned through this process as well is, you know, you got people that's going through things, and that person that keeps it to themselves is doing the other person in this world a disservice. I lost loved ones. Everybody loses loved ones, right? But I can speak directly to it. Marriage wasn't always, you know, peaches and cream, like I said. I can speak to that guy that's going through it in his marriage. And I'm not saying all of it works out. You know, I have friends that, you know, it didn't work out, but I did my part to motivate. If it's going through a job transition, if it's starting a clothing brand, if it's being an entrepreneur, I'll allow myself to be broken in those areas to feed other people. So I take it every time something negative happens, or from the world perspective, a negative thing happens, like I'm looking for what's next. Who can I help in this season to help them get through, right? Yeah. So it's just been a transition. It's been a journey with Grind Legacy. Like I said, a lot of good things happening. Couple of influencers have reached out, you know, as far as supporting the brand. If you guys can ever get a chance, some of the people for, you know, the people in our age group, if you guys are familiar with New Edition, Ricky Bell of New Edition,
wow.
You know, wore some of our things. His wife, Amy Cora Bell, has worn some of our things. Guy by the name of David Biaki. If you're a fan of Westworld, he was a regular on there. Actor in Hollywood, big in the crypto world if you're into that. Very positive, motivational speaker. You know, obviously my friend Terry, influencers, you know, not celebrities, but influencers. So some things are happening, you know, and just excited about the future, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, and I like, you said something way at the beginning that I remembered, and I was like, I want to like write that down to put like on my desk, because like my desk is turned into just like a mishmash of support of people I love. Like if you've got a brand I love, you know, and you have stickers, it ends up on my desk. I'm always looking at all these different brands, like Know Your Craft, local skate shop, Uncle Funky's in New York. But you mentioned like the message is first, like the message behind all of it is number one. And then it's like, if you want, you can buy some merch, which at the end of the day, we always all want to sell something, but that wasn't like the number one thing on your list. Like you were like
Yeah.
the message, influencing, motivating, et cetera, and then it was like, and if you want to like rep that, and you back that motivation, you back that message, you can buy some stuff. So I like that
Absolutely.
you went that direction. It may sound cheesy to say, but as somebody who's in sales, it's something I was like, oh, I like that. I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And again, I say all this, man. I'm a student like everybody else, right? You know, I follow the Gary V's, um, you know, the Sean Johns, Damon John, anybody that persevered. It's almost like it's like the formula. If you lived in your car for several months, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Oprah, Steve Harvey, these guys. Also, if you started in the garage, it's looking up for you.
Yep.
The Steve Jobs and all those guys. So
Bezos.
So it's kind of like don't shortcut those shortcomings, right? It's just learn from it and persevere, right? And again, man, I like following you guys, and because I believe in supporting people, man. Like I say, Grind Legacy is a brand, but it's a brand for the people, right? If you look on our page, we've interviewed barbers that took their craft to a whole nother level. A good friend of mine from childhood friend started off as a local barber and took his brand to Houston, Texas, man, and cuts these celebrities' hairs now, and interviewed him just to see, man, what was the thing that clicked for you? What was your educating moment? What was your execution? What was your plan? How did you endure, and how are you helping other people? A local, I'm here in Oklahoma, and one of the locals here was a star at OSU. I mean, at OU. Still have all their receiving records, and he's in real estate now. I reached out to him. Hey, look, man, what are you doing now? Like, how are you doing real estate, right? The gym I go to, female gym owner. You just don't hear that a lot.
Yep.
I had a chance to interview her, and so that's what Grind Legacy is about. Also some of the things I've been through, as far as personal things. I know one thing that sticks out right now that I speak to every time is, Father's Day comes around. Now, as a matter of fact, that's Ryan right there to the right. I interviewed. We call it Ryan Feature. Right there. And but it's awesome when you have a chance to, just sit back and, pick the minds of these people that excel at their craft, right? So, also, like I said, personal things. When I say about Father's Day, my father wasn't there when I was young. Gabrielle Bosch, she's an actress. She's been on the, she's interviewed me. I've interviewed her, and she reached out to me. And she's been on several TV shows. Yeah, man. And I talk about my father all the time. And when Father's Day comes around, a lot of people forget those who don't have fathers, right? So it's just a different outlook on things. There's Terry and his son, legacy in the, in the moment. So yeah, man.
And there's your educate, execute, endure, empower. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you brought it up. You wanted to get nerdy as well, so I'm sure we'll transition back because it's always going to come around. It always goes full circle. But before we even dive into all the exciting things that are coming up, again, if you have a YouTube channel, you got a podcast, you got a website, you got a apparel brands, brand in general, throw it in the chat. I already see, Aaron Waller. He's doing his thing. Know Your Craft doing his thing. Steven, Sleeping Collectibles. There you go. Hobbies of Jose. So many creators, and just dope people in this community. So that's what Nerd Affiliated is about. All of us just being affiliated, being fam, and to your point, grinding for that legacy.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I thought a good transition into the nerdy stuff would actually be with a game of either, because I loaded the page and immediately I was like, oh, wow, it's Destiny. This question was right here. This can take us into our first topic of today. So in case anybody has not played either before with us, the rules are simple. You have red, you have blue, you choose which one best suits you. And of course, you want to put in the chat why it is you're making the decision you're choosing. But in the first round of either, I'm super curious on who you're going to choose here. We have, if you had to look like one Batman villain from the Nolan trilogy, you go on Bane or you go on Joker. And I'm gonna up it one extra step here for you. You also get like their power set or their move set, whatever it may be. Because I know you're a big workout guy, so I'm thinking Bane might be there, but Joker's a smart guy, so I'm like, ooh, which way is Dwight gonna go on this one?
Hey, man. Hey. You know what? To this day, man, one of my favorite movies of all time. It was the first time I actually bought a movie before it hit the shelves. I put that order in to have it set aside for me. And I got to go Joker, bro.
Wow. I did not expect you to go that way.
Yeah, man.
Is it the mental game?
First time, yes. First time ever watching a movie, I was like, the villain may be right. I was like, I think he's on to something.
I love that.
I was just like,
little did we know there'd be so many after that, like Thanos, Killmonger, villains that you're like, I kind of see where you're coming from.
You identify as.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
You're going Joker. Wow. All right. Like I said, did not expect that, but
yeah, man.
I think I'm leaning your direction only because I'm thinking of even like Jack Nicholson Joker. Like he gave like no F's whatsoever, but Heath Ledger,
right.
I mean, legendary. I mean, even just the scene of him walking into the room of all the mafia guys, like solo.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I'm here. This is what's going on. Yeah. Take it or leave it. By the way, I might blow you guys up if you decide to leave it, but hey, still, take it or leave it. We'll see what happens. Legendary movie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just getting ready to say, man. Yeah, man. It's just so many. I don't even know what to call it, man. There's just so many different scenes in that movie. You're like, this dude, man. And it's almost sad, man. Just the what if, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, would they ever been, Joaquin Phoenix, if Heath Ledger was still, would have still been a Jared Leto, if he, would these guys even be talked about if he was still around,
Right.
I mean, yeah, man.
I mean, that would have been interesting if they were like, this guy did such a great job. We don't even want to like touch it. And he was like, I love doing this role so much. I'm going to do it in all these different versions, all these different movies, even though they're not connected whatsoever. Like that would have been such a great, like multiverse, but not type thing. I would have loved that.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. It's his performance there just brings chills. But before we find out what the answer is, and of course, everybody put in the chat, red or blue, which way you going on this one. I actually had up a picture I wanted to talk about, and you kind of hinted at that franchise. Just posted today. Jason Momoa posted that on the set of Aquaman 2, Ben Affleck has arrived. Bruce Wayne has arrived. Yeah. Did you like Aquaman, or did you like even Ben Affleck as Batman?
Man, I may stick out with this one, man, because I really liked Ben Affleck's Batman, bro.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people, because and again, I don't know if the guys or the people that, swing negatively, towards Ben, but anybody in the comic book, animated genre, for that Batman, he fits the mold.
Yeah.
Older guy, he's not the the most masculine or muscular, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
guy, the scruffy beard,
Mm-hmm.
getting in shape. Anybody that follows that, man, he fit the mold. I'm not knocking Christian Bale, but for this particular one, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I saw this posted the other day. Man, one of the best fight scenes in a movie ever is when he comes into the warehouse.
Yes.
Man, I hadn't seen anything like that. Not in the Christian Bale, not in the Michael Keaton.
Yep.
And I won't even mention the other names.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, man, dude, I like Aquaman, and I am a Ben Affleck Batman fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's such a shame what's going on at DC, because like they announced that universe has like ended, like they're not doing it anymore, and they keep trying to kill it, but like there's certain gems in there that us fans just love, and it's like, should they kill it? Should they just start over? Like, what do you even do? And I really think he deserves a solo movie. Like just let him do it. Don't get in the way. Let Ben Affleck just do his thing, because he's a good actor. Like he does his thing, and I don't even know if you and I talked about it last time. We may have actually. Like Daredevil with Ben Affleck, as bad of a movie as it may be, it's not as bad as people say it is, but he also does a good job with what he was given in that movie. So Ben Affleck, man, he's up there in the Batman list, probably number 3.
Hey, he's up there. Yeah. I would say. I'm kind of interested. What's 1 and 2 for you?
So Kevin Conroy, the voice actor from the animated series, he's got to be number 1.
Yep.
And I know we did a video, Anthony, myself, and I think Aaron Waller actually, ranking them, and I think sometimes it's not fair to put Kevin Conroy there, because he's literally been the voice for like 20 years, and nobody else has that volume of body of work to compare to. But still, I mean, if I look at a picture of Batman, like on my desk, if I had a sticker of Batman, I would hear his voice every single time. Number 2, I still have Michael Keaton down there. I know he's not the best actor in either movie. I think the villains in both movies outshine him.
Oh yeah.
But still, he still did a great job. And then Ben Affleck. Actually, you know what? In a similar situation where, there's a lot happening there, lot of moving parts, a lot of other actors, but Ben Affleck still manages to shine among them. So
exactly.
Number 2 and 3, based on the day, may flop. But do you have like a ranking?
Hey, I agree. No, hey, I agree wholeheartedly. And I didn't even prep for this. Like, me and my son started watching the animated series last night.
That's awesome. See, that's awesome. I love that.
Hey, I say, I had to pull him to the side. I say, hey, man, you want to see what used to get your dad excited, after school?
Yep.
I said, watch this intro, man.
Yes.
I'm just like, and the first episode season 2, first episode was when Killer Croc goes to join like the circus misfits type deal. But yeah, man, that's my favorite as well. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head, man.
I might be wrong here. I have not seen that episode in a long time. Actually, that series was the first series of like a show I bought like on box set. Like I never did that before, but that series I bought all of them. I think I might still have them, but I might have thrown out the boxes, which I'm now upset about. But that was like, 15 years ago, whatever. In that episode, doesn't Killer Croc like decide he wants to be a good guy, but then something happens that makes him do like bad things, and he's just at the end he's kind of like is what it is. And I feel like Batman almost forces him to do something bad. No, I'm trying to remember.
Well, and he continues to be bad,
Yeah,
but it's one of those deals where everybody wanted him to be so good, at that point. And matter of fact, this goes to the writing of the series,
right,
because at the end, you have the little dolphin boy
right.
talking to him and
And
say,
he,
hey,
he would he
he's
would
like,
walk like
"Kill
on
the frog,"
on the ground like a seal.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Croc, why did you do this to us? He was like, hey, when at the beginning you asked me to just be who I am, yeah, I'm a criminal at heart, and he said, I'm just being who I am. And they
Yeah.
would lock him up and, take him away, man. But again, I know where you're going with that, because Batman kind of, it's almost like he convinces the circus guys that he's this bad guy,
Yeah.
this criminal, at the same time. So, but no, yeah, your memory is awesome, bro. That's pretty good.
I mean, it's funny. I can't remember anything from school. I can't remember history. I barely have a vocabulary that's coherent, but I can remember like theme songs from shows, like all of Batman the Animated Series and Justice League, and then like random other stuff. That's mainly what consumes my brain.
We in the right spot then.
Yeah.
If you did a poll on everybody on here, we all probably do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I get on my wife's nerves every time something happens. I have a song and a movie to everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
To everything. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why even on my vlog series, I'm always changing the intro, because I just feel like a good intro, it's like a YouTube video, right? Like in a YouTube video, they say you have like 10 seconds. It's probably like 8. It's like between 8 and 10 seconds to hook somebody. And a TV show with a solid intro, that's your hook. That's what gets you in there. And especially with like cartoons, like the action ones, like that Batman intro, that X-Men intro, like bam, you're in, you're locked in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man.
So I'm inclined, and I think I will actually, I'm going with you on this one. I'm going Joker. Despite the not as good physique, can't knock the Joker. Oh, wow.
Oh, I wasn't expecting this.
I was not expecting that. Holy crap. It must have been physique. That's the only thing I could think of.
Okay. Had to be.
That's wild. That's wild. I can't believe we're flying through time right now. But do you have an extra?
Oh, we are, bro.
Do you have an extra like 15 or so?
Hey, man, I'm here. I'm here.
There you go.
I'm here, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
First of all, I do want to shout out the I just had it up. Here it is. That shirt you're wearing. I love that. I love that design.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it had all the extras, like, on the side, Ryan Legacy, and then on the back, Louisiana Strong. I love that.
So, a little history behind that shirt, right? We talk about legacy, and again, I want to walk the walk, right? So, I'm from Louisiana originally. I only been in Oklahoma about 4 years, and last year they had a huge tornado come through Louisiana. Believe it or not, a huge tornado and tore up the town that I graduated from.
Oh.
Bunch of my friends, Terry Adams, the Flatland BMX guy, he lives there.
Oh.
I remember reaching out to him. He was like, dude, you would even recognize the town. Like, it's bad, bro. It's bad. So I got online, I reached out to the Red Cross. There's a link they have on their website where you can, start a donation, or you can donate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I made this shirt, Louisiana Strong, in order to raise proceeds to help those guys down there. So, so it's Louisiana. So the colors are LSU, Tiger, purple and gold. The black and gold is obviously the Saints. You have a Florida Lee, the Tiger on the back, and just a play on the design as far as legacy in the boot. And if you could, if you can scroll in, but it has resilient, confidence at the bottom. Just what the Louisiana people stand for, right? So, but it's just it was just something we did for them. You don't have to be from Louisiana, man, but it was just something we did to help those guys down there. So I was like, I'm not there. I can't go out picking up limbs, and I can't help tear down houses and rebuild, but I can send something. So that's why I created that.
See that, man? That's why you influence, man. That's why you motivate. It's stuff like that. Like the your message isn't just words. Like you do the action. You do the damn thing. So I commend you for that.
Appreciate it.
You're actually wearing the color of something I want to talk about. A character who has that color part of his costume. Actually, I have the figure here. Just got it in this week. Senora Black Panther. Now,
bro.
Now that trailer dropped.
Oh.
What are your thoughts? Give me your trailer reaction. Talk about it.
Hey, man. Hey. Dude, I'm 37.
Yeah.
I'm about 285 pounds, right? It took everything in me not to almost, shed a tear, because, obviously everybody on here knows the backdrop.
Yeah.
Chadwick.
Yeah.
Will we even have another Black Panther? I know they talked about it. I loved it, bro. The visual.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe it's going to break every record when it drops.
Yes.
I plan on seeing it multiple times.
Yep.
I already told my kids, like, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
It's going to be one of those deals where you take off work.
Yep.
I'm not worried about anything else.
Yep.
We're going to the movie, right?
Yeah.
Some of my thoughts on it, because my daughter asked me, is it going to be a sister? And I'll say, this is Marvel we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It may be easy to bring Killmonger back. I don't know, but it's just one of those things, man. However they do it, bro, I'm interested. I'm locked in. So
you bring up a good point, because this week's Rambling with Anthony episode, we talked about it, and something I brought up was I didn't realize there was like a debate going into this movie as to who will be Black Panther. Like I just assumed it would be his sister, because that's what happens in one of the storylines in the comic books. But apparently, like, that's not the case here. Like, they actually have not 100% said it will be his sister. So there's that question as to who will it actually be.
Right.
Now, you mentioned Killmonger, and I noted, I think, off camera to somebody, like, well, he did die, but they brought him back in the What If cartoon series.
Yep.
I would love if they somehow brought him back. I think this is the perfect example as to why Marvel needs to stop killing villains off. Just let them get captured or something. Like, you don't have to kill everybody.
Right.
But I would love what needs to happen if he does come back. He cannot turn good. Like, he needs to stay with that motivation that he had the first time. And even in What If, which may be a spoiler to everybody, in the What If cartoon, I won't say what happens at the end, but he goes through and you kind of think like, oh, he might actually be like a rational thinking good guy. And then he's Killer Croc. I am what I am.
Killmonger.
Yeah. So if they do bring him back for this movie and he does take the mantle, I would love it if he's still a bad guy. And maybe he does become King of Wakanda, and that's how the movie ends, and they're like, we have to figure out how to overthrow him, enter third movie. Like, but he can't turn good. That's the only thing I need, is Killmonger cannot turn good.
Right. It's two things that I thought about with the whole Killmonger and his sister deal.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is to piggyback on what you said about him coming back. The shadow that Chadwick Boseman cast over this movie, you can't have somebody overshadow it.
Right.
And Michael B. Jordan, I think, would do that.
Mm.
Right. If he comes in there and do a good job,
Yeah.
he might become the villain
Yeah.
in real life,
In real life.
type
Yeah.
deal. And you don't want to forget about you don't want to forget about Chadwick.
Right.
Another thing I noticed in the trailer is the suit was golden, not
Right.
purple.
Right. Right.
So that, again, a lot is up in the air, but that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, you don't want to. This movie is going to touch a lot of people way deeper than just Marvel with this Chadwick deal. So to bring in Michael B. Jordan, it's almost like a gift and a curse. It could be paying homage to him, or it can be like, all right, man, this guy, and he's up there with Chad. Can we do that?
So if you were, Marvel, right? Because I didn't even know this was up for a debate, but if you were Marvel, would you have taken his family's request and just recasted Chadwick, or would you have done this where he's gone, he has the mantle, we're gonna move on and we'll figure out a way to rewrite, or not rewrite, but how to make the story go along with reality?
I think I would have went with option 2. I would have let him, would have respect his family wishes and kind of moved on. I mean, dude, this is, when we look back on this movie, man.
Yeah.
Years from now, it's already happening.
Right.
It's one of those movies, man. It's one of those movies, and to try to not reinvent the wheel, but to tamper with that can go, good or bad. And I would have probably tried to, all right, we pay respect and we do it at a high level. And again, I'm guessing, but that scene when there's in the all white and everything, I would assume that's a ritual of him, moving on, to the afterlife or whatever, and then the introduction of a new character, or a new Panther, type deal. Because I mean, and again, we could, this is another what if statement or idea. How many years are going to go by movie wise? Could it be a child involved? We know him and the love interest. What is her name?
Lupita's.
I forget her name. Yeah, could there be a child involved that grows up? The scene we may see may be way at the end where he's grown and he's taking up the mantle of his father or whatever. But that could be a possibility. But I would rather that than, definitely wouldn't want to recast Chadwick.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
Yeah. That's a no, that's a really good point. I think the only reason I'm on the fence with it is because I saw what Disney did with Carrie Fisher when she died, but those movies were effed anyway. Like, those movies were already there's so many other issues with them, and I think that Ryan Coogler can do this right if they let him. So I think I'm fine with them. I agree with you. I'm good with them not trying to recast it, because I don't want them to potentially ruin it. But the write-off has to be good. They have to figure out a way to, I don't know how. Maybe he dies in battle or something, but, or maybe, hell, crazy concept. What if the character actually does have cancer in the universe, and that's what they say took him out? Like, I think that'd be a very, very bold move to make. To say, like, hey, this is a thing even in that. Well, Jane Foster's Thor has cancer in this movie. Not a spoiler, that's in a comic book, but So yeah, I that could be you heard it here first. So if it does happen in the movie theater, on HeyArcher Live on Nerd Affiliated, we figured
timestamp.
We figured it out. That's how they're gonna do it.
Right. Hey, I mean, but you just proven it can be done.
It can be done.
I mean, I wasn't mad at her character in the Thor movie. I wasn't mad at that, So yeah.
Oh, so I didn't even ask you. So you've seen it, right? You've seen Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Liked it? Didn't like it? What are your thoughts?
To me, it got away from, and I may be digging into it a little much, but it didn't have like I guess the nostalgia of the other Thors, right? I mean, it seems like they were kind of forcing some things. I mean, I understand with Russell Crowe's character as Zeus, and I hope not to spoil it, but it was just some of the fight scenes, some of the things I did like, but and this is just me as a parent, some of the Disney things I was like, all right, him being naked, like I gotta tell my daughter, I was like, it's like some of the things they didn't do in the first ones that I like Ragnarok, all that stuff was cool. I did like the comedy in it between him and Star-Lord and everything. And yeah, man, I like that. I thought it was decent, but I think Ragnarok was better to me. So
I fully agree. What's interesting, I didn't know this. There's a fan base, including Sal, who's a regular here on the channel. Sal hates Ragnarok. I didn't realize there's a good amount of people who don't like that movie. I thought that was universally loved. But there was some video review I was watching, and they were mentioning how, Thor was the almost rich kid playboy in the first movie, right? And then Natalie Portman kind of brings him to Earth and brings him down to being normal. Second movie is a blur. Nobody remembers that movie. I couldn't tell you his character development there.
That's why they even talk about it.
Yeah. But then in the Avengers, he also is kind of cocky and full of himself, and had the chance to kill Thanos, and because of his cockiness did not, went into depression and was like, I'm a failure. I can't do things right. Redeems himself in Endgame, the epic scene where the two hammers come and all that stuff. And in that review, they even mentioned, they're like, but why is he going back to the comedic playboy arrogant person? Like you did that arc already. Why are you restarting that arc? And I didn't think about that. I couldn't put my finger on why am I hating this movie, and I think that was it. It wasn't even just the fact that it's so comedic. It's that literally somebody could be getting murdered in front of him, and he's like, oh well, somebody's getting shot in the head. He's like, oh man, that headache's gonna really get to you, and I was like, ah. So the last act I thought was very good. When it went black and white, I felt like I was watching a whole different movie. And I loved Christian Bale's acting. I always love his acting. But again, we won't spoil the ending, but Disney has problems, and the comedy parts it gets me. It grinds at my gears. There you go.
Hey, it's same. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I watched it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Interesting note. I didn't even really think about that. You mentioned the nudity in the movie. For a movie that's so heavily pushed to kids, to have that in there, I didn't even catch that. But then again, you're a parent. I'm not. I'm like, how did that get past the many parents probably who work for Disney? That's interesting. That's a good point.
Well, and this is not I don't want to, elaborate on that, but it was just so outside of what they were normally doing.
Right.
That's why I noticed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything remotely close to that in any of the other movies.
Ooh, there actually is. No, there is. You just probably didn't see the movie because nobody saw the movie. In the Eternals, there's actually a love scene between two characters. Well, in
a Thor, I was talking about.
Yeah.
As far as Thor movies.
Yeah.
Well, I know Marvel does it. Just I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
some things you expect. Like
Right.
if you watch a Batman movie, it depends on, there's going to be some killing involved. You know, it's like,
Right.
all right.
Right.
You know, when I took my kids to go see the new Batman movie, you know, it's going to be, I know this is a dark movie, right?
Yes.
But I wasn't expecting that with Thor.
With Thor.
You know,
Yeah.
strictly off of the stuff we just talked about, you know, the comedic part of it, you know, that, yeah, it was just, again, not knocking it, but it was just, it came from left field. It was like they were reaching for something. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. I fully agree. Well, brother, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I hope we don't wait 2 years again in between episodes. But before we call it, as I like to say every week, sir, this is your opportunity. Plug yo shit.
Hey guys, if you are looking for a boost in your everyday motivation, apparel, like I say, athleisure, visit groundlegacy.com. Hey, for HeyArcher fans, if you put in the code GL-VIP, you get a discount, guys, or sign up our email list. So again, follow us on Instagram, grind_legacy, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all the above with the same tag. Give us a follow, give us a like, and enjoy the page. Feel free to reach out if you guys need anything. Like I said, man, I'm plugging other brands, and I'm helping everybody with their grind. So,
love that. Absolutely love that. That's the man. That's the myth. That is the legend, Dwight himself, over at Grind Legacy. Give him a follow. Give him a subscribe. That shirt that Dwight is wearing right now, if you just want to show that icon on the front, look for that on the website. Oh, wait, the other side. There you go. Look for that on the website. Proceeds go to a charity for Louisiana, the hometown for Mr. Dwight there. And that's what it is. It's about building that legacy. Make sure you give him a follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Here at Nerd Affiliated, that's what it's about. All of us nerds, we're affiliated, where we help one another, promote one another, but most importantly, we motivate one another. Every Thursday, 8:15 p.m., we are here. We are live. We're hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace.